From record-breaking times, to championship wins, to the moments that made the world stop and stare, there were those who understood the arena was never only about the game.
So you're not prepared to discuss your feelings about the Vietnam War?
This Black History Month, Black Joy Blazers celebrates the architects of the arena, athletes who didn't just compete in the space, but turned the competition into platforming. Did you know one of the most iconic protests in Olympic history almost didn't happen? In 1968, John Carlos had considered not competing at all. Disillusioned by injustice at home, he wrestled with whether showing up meant complicity. But after getting a call from Martin Luther King Jr. himself, urging him to use the global platform before him, Carlos ran the 200 meters in Mexico City and stood on the podium beside Tommie Smith. When they raised their black-gloved fists during the national anthem, they transformed a medal ceremony into a blueprint for athlete activism. More than a decade earlier, Althea Gibson had already cracked open another gate. In 1957, she became the first Black woman to win Wimbledon and the first Black player to win a Grand Slam title in tennis history. In a sport defined by exclusion, Gibson didn't just enter court, she expanded it. And in NASCAR, a sport long wrapped in Confederate symbolism, Bubba Wallace forced a reckoning. Racing competitively since his teens and rising to become the only full-time Black driver in the NASCAR Cup Series, Wallace used his platform to call for the removal of the Confederate flag. Soon after, NASCAR banned it from events. Wallace didn't just drive, he disrupted tradition at 200 miles per hour. The Black women of track and field have long redrawn the limits of possibility, defying every notion that tells them to stay in their lane. Sprint legend Allison Felix is one of them. With 11 Olympic medals, 7 of them gold, she is still the most decorated track and field athlete in U.S. history. Her impact extended beyond speed. When she publicly challenged iniquities in maternity protections, she forced global brands to change policy, protecting future generations of mothers in sport. Surya Bonaly had already made history, a 5-time European champion and one of the most powerful skaters of her era. But at the 1998 Winter Olympics, injured and out of medal contention, she did something unforgettable. She landed a backflip on one blade, a move banned in the competition. She knew she would be penalized. She did it anyway. In a sport rooted in tradition, Bonaly chose defiance and changed who winter sports belonged to. Different sports, different generations, but one shared truth. They didn't just compete in the arena. They turned it into power. Black history isn't confined to highlight reels of the past. It's breaking records and still redesigning the game right now in real time. These are the Black Joy Blazers.